And then here come Solo's guys with their faces painted like panda bears. It's Jeff Cobb, right? JC Mateo, and it's taller Tonga. He's taller than all of them. And there's Tonga Loa. Did we got Tama Tonga back, or is that the extent of them?
Tama Tonga there. Monoloa.
That's right. Who now? What?
Oh, no, I'm confusing them with a macadamia nut. I'm sorry.
Well, the point is, there are the whole group of them, except for Solo, have their faces painted black and white. And I wasn't really exaggerating. That's the first. When you look at one of those paint jobs on their faces, do you think Panda Bear before you think anything else?
I had not, and I'm pretty sure I will think of nothing but that now that you brought it up.
How could you not? They're white faces and black fucking circle. It's a Panda Bear.
Maybe someone will throw some bamboo in the ring.
Now, I know that, I'm not up on all of the young folks. You know, I understand some of the cities in the country are burning. I understand, just riots. Are the street gangs now painting their faces black and white to imitate or simulate or copulate of a panda bear? Or if so, or some type of, what is this activity? Or is this just, how can you take a group of Samoans that are 250 to 300 plus pounds, that are up to 7 feet tall, and make them physically unintimidating to where the first response of a normal person would be, what the fuck are these guys?
Is there anything to be said for war paint? Like
that ain't it. No, there's no Samoan that has ever painted their face for war on the islands, or even on Gilligan's Island, that looks like this. What are you? Well, if I am wrong, if there is some warlike tribe of Maoris somewhere that paint their face like this, Google it right now, and I'll give $1,000 to the Maori charity.
Why don't you just give it to me if I find it?
Good, no, because you don't need it, and you're not a Maori.
I do the work. I should get the money, not the charity that you never heard of.
Then you're going to have to move to a goddamn Pacific island, thousands of miles away from here, and I'll send you that $1,000.
Samoan war paint. They do, in fact, paint their faces, apparently. It appears to be
I'm not saying they don't paint their faces like this.
More Umaga-ish. I don't see any photos of the white, except for the photos that come off of the bloodline, actually. That's the only photos I see.
The only ones. And is that so you can see them in the dark? What the giant glowing, wouldn't that be the opposite of, I thought war paint and like camouflage to disguise you from the enemy, not fucking make you glow. But anyway, so
hey, by the way, serious. What are they called? They're not the bloodline, right? They're something else.
They're the MFTs, which I assumed was motherfucking Tongans, but now is apparently my family tree.
Oh.
Either that or Solo also bought out that goddamn genealogy research website that went bankrupt, and he's got that scam going now. I don't know.
But if it's my family tree, he used to call him my MFT. So that'd be my family tree?
Or the MFTs, my family trees. How many families are you branching off of there? Well, his original name was Target because everybody had a shot at it.
All right. Well, let's
come on now. No, I'm see now. No, I wouldn't say that.
Let's get back to the panda attack here.
The panda attack.
It was like a Chinese zoo on SmackDown.
To be fair now, they reminded me of Mike Boyette when he was Apocalypse, a soldier of fortune. I've told you this story years ago, but one of the first people I managed in 1982 was poor hippie Mike Boyette, who had come up with a gimmick because he was a legitimate fucking badass judo guy in the 60s, I came to find out. And as well, he had been in some type of branch of the service in Vietnam, which it may explain quite a bit of Mike's future life and mental state. And also, Mike was one of the trailblazers in pro wrestling in pharmaceuticals. So he sells Dundee on a gimmick to bring him into Memphis as Apocalypse, the Soldier of Fortune. And Apocalypse, the movie, had just been 3 or 4 years, or if that long, whatever the fuck, right? Big movie. And they're in the war, right? So he's got the fucking camouflage. He's got the khaki pants and the combat boots, and he's got a netting he wore to the ring as a jacket and a camouflage hat, and he painted his face in like a camouflage. You're hiding in the jungle. And it kind of looked badass. And then he lost the boots after 3 weeks, but I came in one night and I said, Mike, where's your boots? He's sitting there barefoot, right? No say, I'm going to work barefoot. That's why. He said, they said my boots were made out of potatoes. and then as the gimmick went on, which I think was part of the pharmaceutical trailblazing, and eventually, that would catch up with him, but he started doing these outlandish paint designs and one time I've got great pictures. He was actually a panda bear. It was a black and white panda bear, and the headgear matched, and he would have a bright red, blood red tongue with some other type of designs that he would have stood out on the goddamn moon. It was he was just pilled up. It was amazing. Then he hurt his neck on Bobby Fulton's stomach and left my establishment, right, my dynasty of champions.
Once again, let's get away from your establishment, back to the Panda House.
Yes. So anyway, they came out and beat up Sammy and Ilya. And and then Phoenix came out and they beat him up too. And this is what I was about to say 10 minutes ago. I'm glad that Ilya is on the roster, but it's obvious that this was kind of okay, but yeah, we got other things to do. This was not a moment that was focused on. So it's not like they're giving him a rocket ship to the main event at WrestleMania, but now he's the U.S. champion. But then they beat them up, and Solo got on the microphone and talked long enough to lose some interest. And then the lights went out. And when they came back on, there was the Wyatt shits standing on the ring apron. I'm like, oh, God. And I'd lulled myself into a false sense of security, Brian, that I forgot these guys were around. But here are these giant Samoan guys in this ring, even though they're painted to look like a clown in the fucking, Ringling Brothers. There's how many of them now did we establish? Is there 5? There was 5 of them,
the Samoans,
right?
There were 5, yeah.
Yes. And of the Wyatt 6, there's 4. What?
Well,
right?
3 men and a woman.
Well, so three people and a woman.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there's 4 of them to begin. The Wyatt 6, but there's 4. And as they're standing lined up, the woman is one of them. And she's lined up with Solo. Was she not like in the middle? I'm like, what the fuck? And Solo turns around and calls his guys off. Would a year and a half ago, would the bloodline have just eaten these people?
No, because the bloodline would have never been in the same segment with these people. And that's the problem with Solo's group. Solo's group dragged Jacob Fatu down eventually when they had him turn. And then there's nothing happening with them. If they're going to be in a feud with the Wyatts, and I can't imagine that's going to go too long because they also beat up Sammy and Ilya and Dragon Lee. This is the makings for the worst war games ever.
Was that Dragon Lee? I thought that was Phoenix.
Oh, Ray Phoenix. Excuse me.
Well,
Dragon Lee.
There's no. Are you racist? You don't know which masked guy is which.
But my point is, I don't know what any of this is. I don't know if there's any demand for it. I think the U.S. Championship Challenge was good over the last several weeks with a good match here. It's amazing to think this is all part of the end of that.
Yeah,
but again, why didn't Solo just super kick the girl if she comes in the ring? Wouldn't that change everything? I mean, we have so much intergender fighting happening now in wrestling. If the Wyatts are there in the dark and they creep up behind you and there's 5 of you and there's 3 men and a woman, so that means, one-on-one, the girl's going to take on 2 guys, I guess. Take her out, make the other guys go save her. And where's the leader? Where's Bo Dallas other than the video screen? Again, I'm thinking too much about this because it's terrible. But yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. This whole segment was kind of the good and bad of SmackDown. A good competitive match that makes sense because it builds into a multi-week storyline of Sami Zayn having the U.S. title open challenge. A couple guys almost won it. Someone did today. And then immediately you get stuff with people you don't care about feuding with other people you don't care about.
Well, the new champion is laying on his face somewhere off camera. So I wasn't a fan of that part for this. I could understand if, goddamn The Rock and Stone Cold needed to come out and use the ring for a minute. But Jesus Christ.
Well, Jim, getting back to the U.S. Championship Challenge, winning a championship is still a big moment in a wrestler's career.
It certainly is.
What do you do after that big moment? Some guys, they may go the wrong way and go to the strip club and buy some dangerous things and get into all sorts of trouble.
You can go the wrong way. Don't go the wrong way.
But the right way would be to care about your health and to care about the food you're ingesting.
I thought you were going to send them to a casino.
No, I'm talking about food that is prepared by a chef for a champion's meal from our good friends. I'm a big fan of theirs at Factor.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, it always comes up that between the back to school times and the busier routines, the shorter, our days are getting shorter. Brian, every day is getting shorter, never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or half a page of scribbled lines. But the days are shorter, but finding time to cook and all of that stuff can be tough. And that's why we love Factor, because they have chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals. The chef's name is Oscar. The dietitian is Gretel. And everything that you get will pass in front of them. Gretel, she's of German descent.
Oh, obviously.
She's a portly lady with blonde hair. I don't know. She looks somewhat like Doris Ziffel. Actually, Barbara Pepper. Character actress, kids. Google her while I tell you about how great Factor is. They've got more variety and more meals now. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. And if you get to know these people well, I recommend the swordfish as well as the gar. For you fishermen out there, they have wonderful gar. You can support your wellness goals, enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and the new Mediterranean diet options, packed with protein and good for you fats. You know the way those Mediterraneans eat and all the things they use lubrication for over there in the Greek Isles. Savor global flavors. See, that is a tongue twister, folks. For the first time, Factor is offering you the opportunity to try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors, influenced by China, Thailand, and more. Just the other day, Stacy was eating one of her dinners. She said, that tastes like it came from China. And I'll tell you what, there's no more bolder compliment than that. 97% of the customer.
I don't know why that's the boldest compliment you can get, but 97% of all customers, you were saying.
Yes. Say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. And the other 3% were unavailable for comment, but the estate is still engaging in legal representation. Feel the difference no matter your routine with Factor, folks. And I'm going to tell you now what you need to do here in a second, because I got to find now this next page of this thing. What you can do is you can go to Factor, Factor, factormeals.com/JCE50 off. That's the code. JCE50 off. You're going to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. And just be careful when they bring those eggs in on a pallet. You're going to need to have a place about 6 by 8 feet to store them. That's code JCE50 off at factormeals.com. It'll tell you what you're going to get and what you can get and what you'd like to get. And you're going to get it for half price, half off. Not actually the product all the product will be there. They won't take half out of the order.
No,
they will just take half off of the price.
That's right. And again, Factor is so good right now. They give you a chance to pick and choose exactly what meal you want. They have plans also. I like the Protein Plus one, but the food they recently sent over here was so delicious. Fresh grilled chicken, which is actually harder to find if you're ordering on DoorDash or something than you would think. And salmon that was so delicious. Big fans here in this house. I know Stacy Cornette is a big fan over there. We're all big fans of Factor. Jim, one more time.
Well, you can even be a smaller fan because they got the low carb meals and the things for people watching their caloric intake and things and such of that nature. So you can lose weight as well if you factor in the Factor program and don't over factor yourself. But that code again, JCE50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year at factormeals.com/JCE. They're delivered to your door. I mean, you don't even have to go down the street to pick them up anymore. Used to, they'd leave them on the corner for every block, and you kind of just went and, sometimes people took your shit. But now it comes right there to the door.
They will bring it right to your door. Let's make sure we stress that. Factor. Yes. Friends of ours, they deliver delicious
They do that
food.
now. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And please, you know what I like, especially some of the new line they've got, the spit-roasted ocelot. I like that an awful lot.
Again, you can see the actual meals they have and pick what you would like. Factormeals.com/JCE50
off. Don't forget about that.
Don't forget JCE50 off. But Jim,